Okay, guys. The United States of America 4, Honduras 1, our first away win in a very, very long time. And a tale of two halves, Filippo. It was just completely different in that second half. Kudos to Gregg for making the subs that he needed to make, and lighting a fire in the bellies of the boys. But Ricardo Pepi, newly minted dual national, committed to the United States, celebrates his debut at 18 years old with a goal, an assist, and another involvement, I guess, in another goal. He was involved in all four goals, wasn't he?
All four. He was involved.
He was involved in all four goals. 18 years old, ladies and gentlemen, has done more than Sargent or Pefok or honestly any other American forward, and that's coming from an 18-year-old playing away in his first competitive cap. Guys, there's a ton to talk about now. We're going to be with you for the next hour and a half, probably at least hour, 15 minutes. There's a ton to discuss. Thanks for coming to hang with us. I know we're all excited. Obviously, we're far from out of the woods, but that buys us some breathing room, right? And that's really, really important. Julian Lopez, great comeback win from our boys. USA. Jeremy Parente says, Gregg still has a very hot seat under him, but what a great turnaround by those boys on the pitch, and especially Pepi. Daniel says, Pepi. By the way, Gregg won't get 5 subs in Qatar. Yeah, man, there's still huge questions about what's going on with Gregg or what he's doing. But that second half, so much better. Jason Snags, I was nervous, but 200 secured, boys. That's awesome, Jason. You got your 200. Congratulations. I didn't think you were going to get it at halftime. I'm not going to lie. I was like, no, Jason just threw away $200. All right, guys. We're going to answer some super chats while everybody gets in. And then when everybody gets into the chat, we will, do our positives and negatives. I'm going to talk about some tactical things on the board. We'll evaluate the whole performance, and we'll talk about nuance. With a game like this, it's hard to remember the nuance amongst the excitement. Jack Talley says, in all seriousness, best game Leggett has played in a USMNT shirt. Think he could be a good super sub. Yeah, look, if Leggett played like that every time he stepped on the field, I'd have no problem with him being on the team, right? That's the first time I've seen Leggett really be dominant and incisive regularly in a game for a very long time. So I'm happy for that performance, and I'm psyched for Leggett, and he absolutely deserves credit today. I need to see that from him every game in order to justify his place, though. Okay, still want Triple G out, but man, did those 4 goals feel great. Only thing that could have made it better is if Cap stayed healthy. Who? Christian Pulisic? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of injury concerns that we have to deal with. Adams in the midfield, and we play like a different team. Elkin, a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but Adams was the best player in this window for me. The only guy who consistently played well in all 3 games, in my opinion. And Miles Robinson, not the only guy, but the guy who showed me the most in those 3 games was Tyler Adams. Twitter tactician. Guys, I'm serious as heart attack on this. Kevin Suarez, as a Mexican-American, I cried seeing Pepi score that goal and assist. I'm so happy for you, man. I'm so happy. That must feel so good for all the dual national Mexican-Americans in this country to see that, a star for America. Pepi is the real deal, man. I've gone and watched his USL tapes. Boss at 16, he is the savior. Thank God we got him, huh? Thank God we didn't lose him. Can you imagine if we had lost him? Okay.
Well, he, like we said, at age 18, 4 goal involvements today.
Away. Okay, this is away in CONCACAF, right? 4 goals.
It's impossible to win, apparently, but we did.
Yeah. Jordan Alford, great response. Really happy with the 3 points, but I can't forgive how diabolical we were at the start. I'm past the point of no return. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about in terms of Gregg and in terms of, what do we do now? But you're 100% right. We can celebrate that half. I think the players themselves deserve a ton of credit. When we criticize Gregg, we also say it's not all on Gregg. The players deserve criticism. The players deserve a ton of credit for that comeback. Tamale Killer says, Pepi now will get looks from top 5 Euro teams. Austin Westbrook, 1, no more Sargent. 2, Anthony should be the starter. Oh, man, we're going to overreact to everything, aren't we? Dominican Stud, even the official FIFA Twitter account called it the Ricardo Pepi show. This proves that we need to go after all Americans of Mexican descent, Leggett. Leggett had a good half. He had a great half. I'll give him that. I wish we saw that
They
from
said
Leggett.
Leggett of Mexican descent. Leggett is Argentinian descent.
No, I think he was just putting Leggett at the end, as in like also Leggett. Leggett's not of Mexican descent.
Also.
And guys, it's not about really Mexican descent. It's about how good they are, right? Whether they're Mexican descent or not. Props to Pepe, not only for the goal and assist, but the amount of work rate he showed all game. He worked his butt off. Yes, he did. Eric Flores, any idea for the future for a post-game reaction with FIFA America, since he also has a post-game live stream now? Look, I'm happy he's doing a post-game live stream. The more people we have talking about soccer in America, the better. And both Filippo and I went on his show, and we're happy he's in the sphere doing stuff. Pepe, a 9 who does 9 things. Praise the soccer god. Zach, please tell me you're feeling okay, man. Zach had a rough one after that Canada game. Rushan S. Thanks, Pepe. He agreed to play for USA. Can you imagine if we'd lost him, Filippo?
We really needed a 9, and I was saying this. We found a 9. We just need to find a coach. That's the only problem I have.
Yeah, and we'll get into all of that. Tao Green, still want to see Hoppy play as a 9, but Pepe deserves to be starter now. I don't know how you don't start him. I mean, there's a side of me that's like, okay, don't overreact. It was one game. He's still very young. But after such a performance, it's hard to not, and especially because nobody else has done anything, it's hard not to say he should start our next World Cup qualifier,
Pete,
right?
I don't think it's an overreaction to say this. Pepe is not a lock-in starter, but what he did today, he deserves at least
more looks,
2 more starts on the next window. At least he deserves it for what he did today.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to put it. We're not saying he's the lock-in starter forever, but he certainly deserves a chance to get more starts. V. Jackson, imagine a line of Pulisic, Reina, Pepe with Aronson and Hoppy coming off the bench. Don't sleep on Hoppy either. Hoppy's another guy who didn't get a chance in this window, but could be pushing for minutes at the 9. Dean Ivers, thank you. All right, guys, it seems like we've got most people in here now. Thanks for coming to celebrate with us. And boy, do we have a ton to celebrate, because after that first half, I had my head in my hands. I honestly thought this was going to go the same way the Canada game went. I want to say I wasn't freaking out, but I was miserable. How are you feeling, Tack?
Worried, right? Because the thing is, we are coming off not qualifying to a World Cup. So we do have, I think every USMNT has some PTSD from that. That's the thing.
I think so. I think that scares us a lot, right?
So anytime things like this, like today when Honduras scored, it could have been I don't think it was an overreaction because of the performance, but we do feel that once again, right? Everyone remembers Cuva. Everyone that's been following the US remembers Cuva, and we just don't want to live that again. And I don't think we're going to live that again ever.
We better not.
But there's a lot of worries to talk about still.
Yeah.
It was a 4-1 win, but 4-1 is very, very misleading of what the game was.
Very misleading. And we have to keep that in mind. Again, we have to analyze performance also, not just result. Hoppy and Pepe are strikers. Sands kept falling over. Artyom Dragstov says best subs by Triple G yet. Soccer Boy Media, I'm sorry, I took this off, but you were right. USMNT outran Honduras in the last 20 minutes of the game. Gilbert Villaseñor, regarding Triple G during the halftime show, they all mentioned that he needed to make changes, even when it shows he completely screwed up on the starting lineup. I feel he's just throwing darts at the dartboard. Yeah, and we'll talk about Greg. Dave Valensky says, you missed my super chat, Tactical. I agree with you. They should take outside box shots. Oh,
sorry.
And just went away in the middle of me reading it. Guys, this thing is crazy. I'm trying to read all of these. All right, guys. So now that everybody's here, we have 2,500 people in the chat. That is awesome. Thanks for coming to celebrate with us. Filippo, we like to start with the positives. And after the Canada game, there weren't many positives to take, really. We were struggling. What do we have today? Let's talk the positives from the game. You start.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the cliche one just to mess with you so you can't say it. The win.
Yeah. And let's face it, our first win away in CONCACAF for a very long time. Okay. Drew Watson, guys, last super chat I'm going to read while we go over positives and negatives. Okay. I don't want to trash the win, but Greg needs to be pressed by fans to start the game better, sub earlier, effing, etc. Yeah. Tons of same issues that we will talk about, guys. Get those likes to up to 1,000 if you can, guys. Thank you, Artyom, for the reminder. I always forget to say this. Get those, hit the like button if you haven't already, so other people can come find us. Look, I think we have to positives. I mean, the shift, not only with the subs, but with the intensity and the effort and the hunger and the desire is really what sparked this win. We came back on, and getting that goal early, I think, helped when we came out quickly, and Robinson gets that, that boosts the mood of the group a little bit. So that's just the attitude change. And I'll give Gregg credit for that, because we didn't come out like we wanted to win this in the first half, for sure.
I agree with you. That's something I didn't think of in the stream, but the same way we criticize when the team doesn't have energy, everyone's playing poor, it's on Gregg. Getting the team fired up at halftime. Obviously, there could have been players that played a role as well, getting the team up, but there has to be credit given to Gregg for that as well. But one other positive is Anthony Robinson, because for the second consecutive game, he was able to have a consistently good, solid performance, which he struggled in the past the U.S. And we struggled to let back. So what it looked like in this camp overall, it looks like the two main issues we've had were left back and 9. And it seems like at least temporarily we found the pieces that can play there and see how they go. Pepe and Robinson.
I don't think there's a better option personally than Robinson at the left back. We've seen Dest not able to do it. Bello is fine, but he's not at the same level as Robinson. I mean, a goal and an assist for him is huge, Other positives. Okay, let me think here. I think one of the positives that I can think of is Tyler Adams. And this is from today as well, but it's really from the last 3 games. Tyler Adams showed that he should captain this team and that he is 100% the guy in the middle of the field. We absolutely need him. We really, really do. And Tyler Adams had 3 strong games, not perfect games by any means, but 3 very good games. And guys, for those of you who are new, I'm just letting you know right now, we're talking about, just doing positives and negatives. So I'm not answering any super chats. So just hold off on the super chats. I don't want, you're welcome to send chats, but we're not answering any questions right now. I just think Tyler Adams was a huge positive, and I think that Miles Robinson was a huge positive. One of the few guys over the course of 3 games that consistently played well. Again, not perfect, but overall, 99% of what he did was really good.
We said the positives of the win. Tyler Adams, we went through, obviously. Is it fair to give... Let's do this. We've always been critical of him, and I still have questions in regards to his game. It's not like I'm rating him now all of a sudden. But let's say Sebastian Lletget was a positive today. The way he came off the bench.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think he was really good.
Positive.
I think what?
Positive, yeah. It was a positive.
And I think what he did well, and this is really the case that pro Sebastian Lletget, fans have, is that he's very good at keeping the game simple and just passing it and not overthinking it. Now, he's often not goal dangerous, and that was true again today. But when he is, great. I was happy to see that. I hope we see that from him more. His performances are not consistently like that. So I'm not going to change my mind about Sebastian Lletget, but let's hope if he steps on the field, we see more of that from him, because you're right. In these 45 minutes, he was ready to turn that game around, and he played a huge, huge role. That cross, especially for Robinson's goal, was his biggest moment of danger, I thought. I mean, the goal was nice, but it was a loose ball, and he ran in and tapped it in. It was nice. But I thought it was more effective putting that cross in a danger area that then Ricardo Pepi could put pressure on their defense, and then Robinson could tap it home. Brendan Aronson was not super... I guess he scored that goal. Other than that, I don't think he was all over the place, making plays in a really positive way. But overall,
he brought
the fight. He brought the effort. You can never fault Brendan Aronson's effort. He always works very hard. I don't think he was effective enough on the ball, but he scored a crucial goal when it mattered, because it was 1-1, right? If he fluffs that, maybe we don't get the other 2. Guys, just hold off on the super chats for now. We don't want to just waste your money. We're not going to answer super chats at the moment. But Filippo, let's move into the negatives, right? And let's be honest, there were a lot, you know. Wow, that starting lineup, I'm just going to start there. When I saw that starting lineup, it just felt like Gregg was trying shit that didn't make a lot of sense. And I'll talk about it here. This was sort of the lineup, okay, where you have your wide. It was sort of a 3-4-2-1, which we've seen from Gregg before, right? So what was bizarre about it, though, was Tyler Adams was playing right back, and then you had Acosta and Sands in the middle. And there's no creativity there. I mean, they're good enough guys, but they're not going to be able to do anything. And then you have you have Pulisic in the middle with Sargent ahead of Pepe. Sargent was largely ineffective. Pulisic was largely ineffective, but most of the time, guys, it's when he got the ball, he had no options. Honduras was defending very centrally because they knew that's where all the threat was coming from. And so in that situation, you know, Adams and Bello were supposed to be getting high up the field and providing width, but oftentimes when we won the ball, we weren't quick enough in transition on the wings in order for Pulisic to have someone to play to, and that's why, in my opinion, that's why he was playing so individualistically. And then every time we would turn over the ball, everybody would drop back to try and defend, and then we would get it and we'd find Pulisic, but again, no real outlet, no real width. And when we did find players who were wide, Honduras would just slide over all of their guys and squeeze us out and squeeze us into wide areas. And it took 45 minutes. It took 45 minutes for Gregg to recognize that. And that's really disappointing that we just threw something at the wall that clearly wasn't working. You go.
That goes, I'm going to add to yours real quick, and then I'll go to mine. That adds to the keep it simple, stupid that we've been saying for so long. Gregg didn't keep it simple. He tried something completely. I'm okay with him trying three in the back. I'm okay with that. But that's not even trying. You can still do three in the back and keep it simple. Another adding to that, so I'm going to go to another negative. A tactical mistake in the first half that led to the Honduras goal was every time the wing backs were moving a little forward, Sands or Acosta were drifting to cover. The problem with that, it was leaving a hole in the midfield that Brooks was coming off to fill it. And that led to the first goal. And again, I'm not taking the blame away from Brooks. He should have tracked back, and he didn't track back, just like he didn't do against Canada. And you guys can look at the board of Pete. Brooks would come middle, left the hole. That's how Honduras did the play, and that's how they scored. And they had other chances like that as well. So that was a tactical mistake in the first half.
Yeah, that's basically just illustrating what you're saying as you talk about it, so people can see it. Because I think for a lot of us are visual learners.
And that was so clear. I know Gregg saw it, and he changed it in the second half, but it was so crystal clear.
I just want to make sure that I think it was good that we pulled off Brooks because, yes, he was, it was not his fault that he had to come out and cover. But this is what we said about Brooks before. Remember, when the ball is played behind him, he's so slow to recover. Sometimes it's a lack of effort. I think it's a lack of effort. And honestly, it bothers me because we had the same thing against Canada. He just stopped. And I think Gregg needs to have an honest conversation with Brooks about if he's ready to put in, because we know he's talented. He's clearly the best player with and without especially with the ball. But even as a defender, he's a very good defender. The problem is, if you're going to shut off like that 2 games in a row and give up crucial goals that mess up our World Cup qualifying chances, maybe you shouldn't be here. Honestly, I would not be surprised if Gregg left him off the October roster, or at least had a hard conversation with him and said, you're one of the leaders of this team. What you do, other people will follow. So if you're not going to give 100% out there, you don't have a spot on this team. We could have Miles Robinson and Chris Richards out there. Mark McKenzie was mostly fine today, I thought. Now, there is another issue, Filippo, and that is, do you think this group still believes in Gregg? Do you think that they pulled together and huddled, sort of hustled their way into a win through effort and team spirit, or not?
So I do have definitely the effort in the second half was completely different, and I liked what I saw from all the players. But did they do it for Gregg, or did they do it because they know the implications of losing this game, right? Of ending the camp with 2 points. I'm gonna do this. I did think Gregg had lost the group in the first half, but because they came in differently in the second half, I want to give that the benefit of the doubt, and I want to believe that Gregg still has the group with him. I want to believe that.
I hope so. I mean, I hope so. I still think there are some players that I'm not too sure about. I think that Serginho Dest and John Brooks are still two players I have real questions about after this window. Not so much. Maybe it's not playing for Gregg. Maybe there's just a sense of like we play at a super high level. We don't have to do the dirty work that CONCACAF requires. Because if you look at the change in the second half, one of the things was we were way better about the. I mean, let's be really honest. One of the things about the second half was we moved Tyler Adams into the middle, and that changed a lot. Right when Kellen Acosta and Tyler Adams switched, because now Adams is winning those balls. Adams is protecting the back line, and that changes a lot of things, in my opinion. But there's still, remember, this game and the 5 points salvaged this window a little bit. It's still not great. 5 points is very poor, guys. But we can't take this game in a vacuum and say, oh, yeah, look, we managed to fight one back. What about the other two games where we were so poor? What about when Gregg waited until the 83rd minute against Canada to make subs, And which Gregg are we going to get in the next window? This is my worry, right? Are we going to get the Gregg who makes a terrible starting lineup choice and then has to fix it? Are we going to get the Gregg who doesn't fix it at all until the 83rd minute? Like, which Gregg are we going to get? And I know this has bought him more like breathing room, but in my opinion, he should still be under pressure from what was a really bad window, bar 45 minutes. That's how I'm feeling about it.
It wasn't even a good 45 minutes, right? There were moments there was a good stretch in the second half. We weren't good. I think we were
that's
good
true.
for around.
It's true. It was the last 25 minutes. And basically, that also Honduras tired, dude. Like, Honduras got tired, and that helped us a lot, let's be honest.
And why is that? Because we have more depth. We have more quality players. They gassed out. We have a bench. They don't have. They were playing Brian Acosta, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah,
Brian Acosta came in. This guy.
They were also missing three of their best players.
They were missing Ellis. We know Ellis can do some damage, right? We've seen it. So there is a lot of negatives in that as well. Another negative, I think, was Josh Sargent. Again, I know maybe, yes, he wasn't playing as a center forward, but it doesn't matter anymore. The touch was off. The passing was off. It wasn't a good performance, but it doesn't matter if he was playing off position. Didn't look good.
No, really poor. And I'm running out of excuses for Josh Sargent, He's still young, and I'm not saying he can't still become a good striker, right? But right now, I mean, no, I wouldn't start him again. I would have Pepe or, Hoppy ahead of him, maybe even Joaquini ahead of him. So no, definitely not, man. Really sad.
Do you think
who else was poor?
Do you think Josh could be out of the October camp? Because Gregg wants to bring Zardes.
Possibly.
Hoppy deserves a chance again. Maybe he'll be a center forward. Ricardo Pepi has earned a spot in October. It will be extremely unfair to not bring Pepi. DK started to score again for, I don't know.
Maybe the lesson we should take from this window, though, Tack. But Tack, maybe the lesson we should take from this window is we need bigger squads because injuries happen. Like, maybe let's not take 26 guys next time. Well, 2 of them are already out before the squad even meets up. Maybe we take 30. Mm-hmm. So I think Josh should still be with the group, maybe as a super sub. Maybe. But even then, I don't think again, you have to remember, Josh Sargent is 21 years old, right? The idea that we should just throw him on the trash heap is ridiculous, right? He's 21 years old. So he's probably still be involved. I wouldn't start him, though. I would keep him on the bench and make him try and fight for his place and maybe give him 10 minutes here and there and see if he can earn it. Hoppy is a guy who deserves minutes up top. Joaquini is a guy who deserves minute up tops. Even Zardes probably deserves a few minutes up top at some point. But I'm not a huge fan of Zardes. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he should start for us. But it's hard to keep defending Sargent, who, by the way, I really like Sargent, but I can't keep defending him with those performances. It's not good enough. Okay. Trying to think of what are some of the other issues that we haven't talked about yet.
I mean, we talked about Gregg's constant need to play players out of position. That kind of falls into the whole tactical part, but just like Tyler Adams on the right wing back when you have Yedlin, and it doesn't matter if he got burnt by Alphonso Davies. You weren't playing Alphonso Davies today. And again, it's Alphonso Davies. He will burn a lot of players. along with that, what else can we take from that? Tyler Adams out of position. Uh, I guess we can put Josh Sargent and Pulisic were kind of out of position in the first half as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Pulisic can't not play as a 10, but if you play him as a 10, you need to give him options. Otherwise, all he's going to do is dribble endlessly. Like, if you surrounded him with Aronson and De La Fuente getting in good positions when he got the ball, I think we would have seen more passes from him. But I don't think you can just play him there, give him Ricardo Pepi up top and say, oh, hit him with the ball. He had no one to hit. That's why, in my opinion, he kept dribbling endlessly with it. But yeah, look, Gio Reyna, let's talk about some guys that make this team better if they're back in October. Yunus Musa, Chris Richards, Gio Reyna, Matthew Hoppe, at least
Weston
those
McKennie.
four. Weston McKennie, who will probably be back in October. Those 4 or 5 guys hopefully make this team better, right? The issue for me with this whole camp, though, is I don't care where you play. If you are here to fight for this team, you might deserve a spot in a 30-man roster, right? If John Brooks doesn't want to fight for this team, bench him or don't even bring him. Because if your leaders are going to do that, then it's going to affect the rest of the team, and it's not going to work in CONCACAF. He is responsible for 2 goals.
Pete.
Yeah.
Weah, Julian Green, De La Torre. There's so many players that can make
there's so many players that could have. And again, like that was my issue with Leggett is like Leggett can have dangerous moments and even a good 45 minutes like he did today. But it's like we have Yunus Musa, Weston McKennie, Giovanni Reyna, Julian Green, Luca De La Torre, who can all play in that spot, which is why I don't want Leggett starting, or even being one of the first 2 options there. So it's not that like Leggett can't ever play good, as some people would try to say, or never passes the ball forward, quote unquote. It's just I think we have better options, and I maintain that opinion. But he was good today, for sure. I'm trying to think of other issues. Changing the formation in the second half, which we didn't do right away. We subbed on individual players. Like Leggett came on for Josh Sargent, played pretty much the same place as him. Robinson came on for Bello, and then Aronson came on. Who did Aronson come on for?
Brendan came in for
Brooks. Yeah, it was Brooks.
So we changed the formation.
So we did go back into a formation change. You're right. It was more of a 4-3-3 because Pulisic did play more on the
played
right.
as a 6 at first, and there was a point where they moved Acosta to the right back and Adams middle, and then they took out Sands. Acosta came back to the middle, and Yedlin took the right back.
And Yedlin, yeah. So we did go back to the 4-3-3, which is what I said on Twitter at halftime. I said that's what we need to do. I had a different, formation or different like substitution patterns. But I was glad to see Gregg make that change. And in the end, great. I'm still questioning how much of that was us and how much of that was Honduras just got tired and we took advantage.
Yeah, we took advantage because we have depth. We have players, quality players at the bench while they don't.
Right.
I do think having an extra player in the midfield resolved that tactical issue of having that hole in the center back having to pinch out. That kind of fix that, but that was also so obvious that you expect a professional coach like Gregg to see that. If a guy like me was able to see it, I would assume Gregg saw it way before anyone else. Just took a while to adjust, but
yeah. Well, also having width, right? So a midfielder now has people to hit. Like let's not forget on the first goal, Pulisic is the one who goes dribbling forward. Right. And then Leggett makes the overlapping run on the other side of Pulisic. So Pulisic gets the ball to Leggett, who can then make the cross. It was having a little bit of width that gave Pulisic options from midfield. So I think that was a huge part of it as well, for sure. Oh, man. All right, guys, I'm sorry for missing all these super chats. We're trying to, as this stream continues to grow, we're trying to do it in such a way that we can, not just spend the whole time answering super chats and have some structure and that we're still providing enough value to everybody who comes here for our analysis and ideas. And we're trying to find that balance. So forgive us if it's not perfect yet. We are open now. So send chats, super chats, or your comments. Chris Casanza, hot take. Gregg's tactical ineptitude contributed to Pulisic's injury. Fact. I'm not sure what the reasoning is for that though, Chris. Could you explain a little better why you think that?
I don't want to blame Gregg. I don't want to blame Gregg for Pulisic's injury. It was a drive and
Yeah, like
collided.
that
I
can
don't.
happen. That we just the thing is we just have to hope that's not a serious injury, right?
Mhm.
Because we're going to need Gregg for October, And guys, we can't get another 5-point window in October. We can't. We really, really can't. That's not good enough. We have to be better.
It's two home games also. Two
Yeah,
home
it's two
games in
home games
October.
against Costa Rica, right? Is it Costa Rica and Panama?
Costa Rica and Panama are home, I believe. I'll check here and I'll tell you. Keep going to chats. I'll check for you.
Okay. Miles Robinson and Chris Richards need to be our starters from here on out. I really hope we see Chris Richards, Roshat. We really need to see him in October. I think he could be a huge option. And Miles Robinson cemented his place as a starter for me, for sure. I think our issue...
It's
Go ahead.
Jamaica I was just going to say, it's Jamaica at home, Panama away, Costa Rica at home.
So that should be in 9 points. I'm just going to say it, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That should be 9 points. It should be. There's no excuses. MT says, I think our issue is playing under pressure and Triple G's bad tactics and lineups. Once we got the lead, our attack was more fluid. Yeah, I think the pressure does get to these guys. But, the pressure can do two things to players. It can make them crumble, or they can rise above it, And I think Pepe deserves Pepe and Robinson and even Leggett deserve credit for getting the pressure off of us with that opening goal. If we don't get that opening goal, it makes it very hard later. But the truth is, Tack, we got that opening goal, and then there was about a 10, 15, 20-minute period where we weren't that good. And then the real goal that changed everything was Aronson's goal. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
That was the one where it just sort of opened the floodgates. And I think Honduras had held on for so long that they just kind of deflated after that. Spencer Nunn says, like the stream. Okay. See if I'm missing any here. Yep. Issue, playing under pressure. Jax. Oh, God, this is so fun. Ryan Virgins. How is it possible that our best half of soccer in the last year comes without Dest, McKennie, Reyna, Brooks, Sargent, Stefan, and largely CP? I don't know if it was our best half of soccer, but you have to look at these things in context and nuance, Ryan. I don't think it was, these guys are better. I think that we finally got to a place where Honduras started to tire and we were willing to pressure and push. And that changed.
Guys, to add to that, Pete, it's more of like everyone has to remember the Qatar game as well. The Qatar game, we got outplayed for a good part of the game. They gassed out. Honduras probably gassed out. And then we did outplay Qatar for the last 20 minutes. Today, we outplayed them maybe a little more than that, but it was somewhat along those lines.
Yeah. This is Honduras's third game of the window, and they have way less depth than we do. They had to play a lot of these guys for a full 90 minutes. And so finally, by the third game, they're losing, they gassed out, and we took advantage of it. Okay. William Specht Casper. I will be at the Costa Rica game. I cannot wait to see the Pepe train keep rolling in Columbus. US, 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 US. All right. With you. John Rayner, can we talk about the weird sub of replacing the injured Pulisic with Roldan when he had Conrad, who is actually similar and a winger? Strange. And same thing from Billy Bibby. Still don't know why we have Conrad on the bench. I'm with you on that. I did not understand that at all. I thought Conrad would have been much more of a threat. And Roldan did little or nothing, too. Yeah, guys. Let's talk about Triple G. Obviously, getting these 3 points for Gregg right now is going to save him from being considered fired. But what he has completely lost, and Tack, tell me if you agree or disagree with me, is over the course of the summer, he earned some benefit of the doubt with those trophies. He has lost all of that benefit of the doubt now. Every move he makes, every player he calls in, every comment he says should be scrutinized, analyzed, and critiqued, and he should still be 100% under pressure, in my opinion. If he doesn't get minimum 7 points in the next window, preferably 9, the pressure should continue. Because this window was not good enough from Gregg.
Well, I agree. Again, it wasn't good during the summer, the performances, but Gregg Berhalter managed to win trophies. So he did earn the benefit of the doubt, and he did earn credit because whatever he was doing, being wrong or right, he got trophies. He has lost it right now. The performances, all 3 of them were horrendous. There were a lot of poor in-game management, especially against Canada. El Salvador was very poor, and there's a lot of player selection, roster selection that were questionable. And he should have known by that. And hopefully he learned. But I'm also getting tired of saying hopefully he learned.
Yeah, same.
right? It's
Remember, guys, we are 3 years into Gregg Berhalter's tenure. 3 years, and we still do not have a distinct style of play. We still do not have a tactical vision. We do not have anything that we as fans can point to and say, this is how the USMNT plays soccer. We don't have that, and it's been 3 years. El Salvador's coach, Hugo, what was his last name again?
who?
El Salvador's
Hugo
coach?
Perez?
Perez, I'm
Hugo
sorry.
Perez.
Hugo Perez has been in charge for 4 months, and El Salvador has a distinct, clear identity and style of play and tactical vision of how they want to play. Okay? So it's crap that 3 years later, we still don't have that from Gregg. Christopher Long, I legitimately don't know how Gregg has got this far without being able to see quite literally every fan can see. I don't care about this result. We have the talent to compete at a much higher level. And this is a really good place to start, Tack, because let's talk about the narrative that you're going to hear from the mainstream media tomorrow. Go ahead, Tack. This is yours.
Yeah. So as I said, the mainstream media, the whole agenda they're going to put behind this is Gregg planned this out. He knows what he's doing. We need to relax. The goal in this camp was to get 5 points because we have 2 away games, 1 home. We draw away, we win at home. So it's all good. Everything's fine. They completely ignore the context of how everything happened, right? And that's what we're probably going to hear from the media. I'm not watching, so I'm not going to say any names because maybe none of them have said it, but that's what's going to happen with the media.
And not just the mainstream media. Independent creators as well will say a lot of the same things. You'll hear Gregg proved that he can do well with subs. Okay, you need to prove that consistently, not 1 game out of 3, right? You're going to hear...
Let me adjust that. He didn't do well with subs. He fixed his nonsense.
Yeah, he basically fixed his own mess.
I can't punch you in the face and take credit for driving you to the hospital. I can't do that.
That nails it. You nailed it right there. That's exactly what it is. You can't. It's exactly it. Thank you. Oh, Adam, sorry, missed you there. Dest is overrated. Barca has made a lot of bad signings lately. Brooks is an old 28 who could not make it in the EPL. He gets away with it in Germany. Okay, Adam, the issue with both Brooks and Dest for me is not talent. For me, it has more to do with desire and hunger and the ability to understand their roles within this team. If you're not going to do the defensive side of the work, then maybe you don't deserve to start. That's just the truth. And I don't want to overreact here, but I have real questions after this window about both Brooks and Dest. And again, it's not a talent thing. Brooks is playing at a level higher than any other center back and playing well there. Believe me, if he wasn't good, Wolfsburg would not be starting him. And same goes for Dest. All right, Christopher Matassa, appreciate the work you both do. Thank you, Chris. Hit the nail on the head about Brooks' energy level. Do you think Richards is the right man to replace him? Is there anybody else who deserves the start? I think Richards would be a guy that I think we should bring in October. I mean, he's now at Hoffenheim. He's going to get regular minutes with them. And if last season is anything to go on, he's going to do really well. I would have no problem starting Richards and Robinson together in a World Cup qualifying match. Now, obviously, nothing is guaranteed. We still have to see how he performs, right? But in my opinion, he's done enough to certainly earn a couple of starts. What do you think, Zach?
Look, in regards to Brooks, it's what just to add to that. John Brooks is still our best center back. It's about Gregg talking to him and seeing if he wants to hustle in the back, put in some effort, because that's been the main issue. Brooks is playing as one of the best center backs in Bundesliga. So let's hold on that. I wouldn't give up on Brooks, and I don't think he won't be. Now, what was the other player he mentioned? Because you took out the super chat.
Dest.
Again, Dest is the same thing. He's playing for Barcelona, and he's extremely talented. He might be our most technical or one of our most technical players. Also not going to give up on Serginho Dest as well. But again, Gregg has to call those 2 players, talk to them, still bring them in my personal opinion, but there's only so many chances you can give them, right? Eventually, Gregg might have to make a very, very hard decision right there.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that hard of a decision, right? Because I would maybe have them both in October, but have them both understand they're on thin ice and they need to make up for what was a really poor window from both of them. Ezra Beinborn. Who do you guys think are options to bring on if we move on from Triple G? Anyone you guys have your eye on? So Ezra, I'll start by saying Triple G isn't going anywhere. All right. This win bought him the breathing room again. All right. But if October continues to be more of the same, then yeah, I mean, maybe we would move on from him. I would hope so, certainly. Again, we talked about this before. It's tough.
If he gets 5 points again, they're not going to fire him.
They're not going to fire him, but he should get fired.
But he won't.
Because there's 2 games at home. That means you're supposed to at least win the 2 games at home and get a draw away, right? 7.
They won't fire him if he gets 5 more points. They won't.
No, I agree with you. They won't. Dave Valensky, 11 Yanks. You skipped my super chat again. I'm not skipping anybody's chats, Dave. I'm trying to answer.
I think he's trolling you.
I feel like I'm just wasting my money. I'm trying to answer everybody's questions meaningfully and not just give everyone a throwaway answer so I can move on to the next super chat.
Can I read one that you missed that he wrote here from Taylor Dietrich? I hope I read it. He said, "Missed my super chat. I thought the post halftime huddle was interesting. They grouped closer after Gregg walked away. Not do it for the gaffer's speech."
So you're saying the players just got together and said, whatever, we got to do it ourselves. I didn't see that, guys, so it's hard for me to say. I might have a look at the clip later. It's very possible if they said, listen, we have to figure this out because Gregg doesn't know what he's doing, you know? Did I just not read Joel's? I'm sorry. Let's not forget, transfers, injuries, and COVID played a huge role in this window. Hoppy, Richards, Weah, Musa, Reyna, McKennie. Yeah.
Hoppy, I disagree, though. Hoppy,
we could have brought. Hoppy, especially once he got his.
Can I say one? Guys, look, transfers, the players obviously make a decision, but the negotiation, that's the agent. Hoppy's not sitting down with the club negotiating fee. He could have come and the agent could have dealt with it. I think Hoppy could have come. Maybe that was just an excuse not to bring him. Other guys, yeah, I mean, Reyna got injured. That's not Gregg's fault or anyone's fault. What McKennie did, I think Gregg did the right move. Not the way they talked about it, but the move of suspending. Weah is not Gregg's fault. So, yeah, some of it, yes. But he could have brought Julian Green. Could have brought De La Torre. There were other options.
Yeah. Pepe, Hoppy right for October. And remember, Sargent was again played out of position. Yeah, but Chris, he's been played out. He was played as a striker for a long time for the U.S. and hasn't produced. So it's hard to keep defending him as a starter. V Jack, why does Triple G like Ewell and not Williamson? I just don't get it. Ewell should never be on the USMNT unless total disastrous injury situation. Yeah, I'm with you there. He should absolutely not be on the team. We are all perplexed by the fact that he was even called up. It's a joke. It's a complete joke that he keeps getting chances. All right, guys, I'm trying to get to as many as I can. Obviously, I've told you this before. It's hard with these chats. They disappear after like 50 chats if I don't get to them all. So I'm doing my best here. Got Dave Valensky's. All right. Christopher says, Dest is best as a right wing back. Depth is better at center back rather than forward. We need to play a 3-back system with mobility in the middle. Not Brooks. LCB all the way. Yeah, I mean, Tack and I have been saying this for a long time. We should play a back 3 with wing backs, but make it a proper 3-5-2, right? The 3-4-3, the way that Gregg likes to play it, I don't think it works for our pool.
And Adams, as much as Julian Nagelsmann had played him as a right wing back last season for RB Leipzig, it was a different system, and that's not his ideal position. He can play there if you need, but we don't look at the right back position. It's the position we have the most depth, and he played a player from the midfield at the right wing back. Why?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Look, there's a real question about this, Chad. Pepe brings new formation options. You think 2 up top. How would you utilize him? Let's talk about Pepe. Because remember, the way that Gregg likes his forward to play is to do what? He wants them to come deep, to hold up the ball, and lay it off. That's not Pepe's game, guys. Pepe is a poacher, right? We saw that today. He's a poacher. His movement off the ball in the box and his finishing are what make him so valuable. So if he's not going to play Gregg's way, should maybe Gregg change his formation to adapt to Pepe? Maybe we go 3-5-2, put Pepe up top with another guy, maybe a Pulisic or somebody near Pepe to help him out, who can play as a roaming center forward, maybe Gio Reyna as a second forward, and finally get him in the middle. God forbid we play our best attacking midfielder in the middle. God forbid. But yeah, that's just something to be thinking about. It's not as simple as just, oh, let's put Pepe there. And then if we try to expect Pepe to do the same thing that Gregg Berhalter wants his forwards to do, he might not be successful at it. So we need to adapt to Pepe. We need to adapt to Hoppy, Gioacchini, players who have proven that they can do the things we need them to do and not try to force. And this is what Greg loves to do. Square pegs, round holes. He likes to take players and force them to fit into his system somehow. And that's where Greg absolutely needs to change. Dominican Stud said they showed the huddle between the players in 1 second time on Telemundo. It was emotional. I think that was crucial. I mean, that you could be it. I didn't see it, so I don't really want to comment. Did you see it, Tech?
I saw the huddle. I just didn't see that they did it to run away from Greg, right? They were in the field already, and the players got together before the second half. I don't think that's something that they're like going against Greg or anything. I don't think so.
Well, what he's saying, what the other guy was saying is that once Greg left the huddle, they got together and talked and said, come on, guys, we have to figure this out. That's what I didn't see it, so I don't want to comment on it. Samuel Lake, Sargent and Aronson do a great job wearing down teams with less depth. I like Pepe's performance, but will he have the same motor in a first half start? Hang on, Samuel, he started this game, and the only reason he wasn't very good in the first half was because he got no service. Like, yes, I know he had that one header down from Sargent that he missed, but I mean, come on, it's hard to fault his first half performance when he didn't have a ton of options, really. I don't know. I think he's definitely done enough to deserve more looks, for sure. Issue with Dest and Brooks. I wish when they showed you the super chats up here, you could find a way to bring them down. Otherwise, I just have to end up reading. Here we go. Mac Ryan. Yeah. Issue with Dest and Brooks is they don't understand how their skills fit in with Triple G's team. It can be frustrating when you make a great move or pass and our MLS players just turn the ball over. We are a group of individuals. Yeah, look, Mac, I think that's probably part of it, okay? And I don't think it's all one thing or all the other thing. For sure, Brooks and Dest are struggling to figure out what Greg wants, and this should still be a huge question mark for us. If we can't understand Greg's system, maybe the players can't understand it either. Maybe the players don't like what's going on, right? But that being said, there are some basic things, Mac Ryan, that we have to hold them accountable for. One of the things that we pride ourselves on in this channel is having accountability. And that doesn't just mean accountability for the coach or for the MLS guys. It means for the European guys too, even more so for them because they're playing at a higher level. So if you refuse to track back when you lose a ball or when we're defending, that's nothing to do with Greg's system. That's on you. I think both Dest and Brooks need to change that mentality very quickly because if they keep this up, they won't be on this team for long. That's my opinion. What are your thoughts?
No, and I agree with everything Pete said. And to add to that, they can be extremely frustrated with Greg. That doesn't justify not putting in 100% effort. That's not on Greg. You can't blame Greg if a player is not willing to put the effort because he's frustrated. If you're frustrated on Greg to a point where you don't want to put 100%, just tell Greg you don't want to play. Yeah. Just tell him, I don't want to play, Greg. I don't want to play with you. I don't know. I can't blame Greg on that. Yeah. No, I'm with you. All right, guys, a few more, and then we will get into the whole, what do you call it? Player ratings. Player ratings. Thank you, Tyler Dietrich, just for love. Appreciate you all. Alex Medina says, I missed your super chat. I'm going up here. Where the hell was Shaq Moore? Yeah, that's a good question. We could have used Shaq Moore, guys. We could have used Shaq Moore. Joe Scally's maybe a future option, depending on if he continues to perform. Definitely there are options. We have from Chris Crescenza, 3-4-2-1 with Pepe up top. Not a huge fan of that because of the width issue, Chris. A lot of people saying I missed their super chats here. Yeah. Ariful Kareem, Jesse Marsh, 2022 to 2026. Yeah, guys, I'm still very frustrated and angry with Greg. I really am. Alex Medina, put the super chat. Carlos I got Martinez. Alex Medina. Medina said players should go to the USSF and force Greg out. Thoughts?
It's a tricky business. The USSF is not going to fire a coach who just won 4-1 away. it's tricky. You have to do that from a position of strength. If you really believe, I mean, unless it's a major issue where it's a complete breakdown and nobody in the team trusts Gregg anymore, then that's a very tricky thing, though. Very tricky thing. It has to be all the players together. If all the players really don't believe in Gregg anymore, then yeah, that's an option. But I don't think that's the situation. I think it's a case of some of the players, and I don't think you can do that and basically mutiny on your coach when the USSF is backing him. You'll just be kicked out of the squad. That's my opinion. What do you think about that?
I think the players can go to the USSF and talk about, maybe be open about their insatisfaction, but not go on a way as saying it's us or him. Don't force, right? Don't press, but show their insatisfaction. I think that's perfectly fine if they have.
Yeah,
and
maybe
talk
have
to
a
Gregg.
conversation. It's tough
Talk
though.
to
Going
Gregg.
ahead, I think talking to Gregg, that would be the first. Maybe they've talked to Gregg and we don't know this, but having honest conversations if they feel like, which they should honestly feel like the tactics aren't working or Gregg doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, certainly they can have those conversations with Gregg. I don't know if they've had them or not. There's a lot that we don't know. This is the problem. We're speculating, right? We have body language and we have signs of frustration and we have comments that indicate frustration, but we don't have the full picture. So it's very hard to speak educatedly and carefully about it because you don't want to claim things that are not true, right? That's the fear. So it's a tough one.
Another super chat that was missed. I'm going to read it quickly and then you can talk. Yeah. He said, Brad was asking about Hoppy and Pepe playing up top together. Maybe Pepe and then Hoppy is the second striker. I can see that. What do you think?
Pepe and Hoppy, I can see that too. And Hoppy may be drifting a little more. I can definitely see options. Richard Cardenas, CP needs to pass the ball more or launch it. Yeah, look, again, I agree, but I think there was a real lack of options for Christian Pulisic in that first half especially. Grant Jones, who should be our guys up top? Sargent has shown he's not the guy, in my opinion. I mean, Pepe certainly deserves more looks, more starts. Joe Aquini deserves some starts for sure. Hoppy, in my opinion, maybe not. Joe Aquini third, but Hoppy and Pepe are the guys I want to see more of up top. That's where I'm at right now. What about you?
Sorry, I'm looking at I'm not paying attention. Fine. I'm just trying to get your super chats. I got another one that you missed if you want me to read it quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Isco, which he's apparently American. Isco doesn't play plays for Spain. Robinson is our starting left back. Yunus Musa is needed in the midfield, and he is still Gregg Berhalter out. Isco.
Yeah, I'm Gregg Berhalter out, but I know it's not going to happen. So it's hard to be like, get rid of him. It's like, okay, no one cares. The people that matter aren't going to get rid of Gregg Berhalter. Daniel Kroshik, I swear we could make a drinking game out of every time Tax says, guys, good. Guys, look. GGG, not good. Not go US. Thanks, Daniel. I thought Anthony Robinson was the best player this cycle. Yeah, I think Adams and Robinson were the three best players this cycle, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Bonus for 11 on nailing my effed up Tyler pronunciation. Going to use this as a moment to back 11 on not spreading rumors of a player's family. Not cool. Huh? Player's family.
Weston McKennie's.
Oh, yeah, guys. Don't spread gossip about Weston McKennie that you don't know. The internet is a vile place sometimes with horrible gossip and rumors that we have no evidence of it being true. So don't spread rumors. We have to just accept the official line, which is fine, but don't start spreading the other stuff. It took Gregg 73 to sub out Sands. Unacceptable. Yeah, there were some rough ones. You think the first two ties woke up? Yeah.
There's another chat here from Arky Goss that was missed. Arky Goss. So it was, we should play with the creative 10, which he says it's Reina. And guys, I didn't fall asleep. Greetings from Hamburg. So he's from Hamburg. Remember he was in my channel too? Arky Goss.
Yeah.
Germany.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Sorry about the missed super chats. You think the two first ties woke up the USA today? No. I think the second half and the realization that this couldn't last anymore. Steven Nagishi, Adams must be midfield all the time. Agreed. Dest at right wing back going forward. Don't be cute, Triple G. My preference is 4-3-3 like we saw in the second half. Yeah, but then if you want Dest at right wing back, we can't play a 4-3-3. So got to be one or the other there, Steven. But I agree with you. Adams should never have been moved. That was just a ridiculous joke to move Adams out. All right, guys. I think unless I've missed any more, I don't think I have. Richard Cardenas, concerned that now Triple G will be sipping his own Kool-Aid until the next window. Oh my God. He probably believes he big brained this win. Yeah, guys, don't let up on the Triple G criticism, because he's still under a lot of pressure, in my opinion, and he should be. And we can't let this last 30 minutes of this game overcloud what was a really, really shitty window. Okay. With that, last one, Chad. How long do you think McKennie will be out? You agree with Landon Donovan that it may be beyond repair? No, it's not beyond repair. I think that's a huge exaggeration from Landon. And I'm really kind of unhappy with Landon even bringing it up. If you're not allowed to say what it is, don't say, oh, guys, I know what's going on and it's really bad, but I can't tell you, because that is what started all the rumors on Twitter. That's really unacceptable from Landon Donovan, in my opinion. I think McKennie will be back in October. What do you think, Zach?
I think he's back, especially after Gregg's comments. Gregg said no. Gregg pretty much made it clear. He apologized. His future is with the U.S. I think he'll be back, Weston.
Last one, I promise. Last one, I promise. Dave Valensky. Now I have 2 coaches I want fired: Adrian Heath and Triple G Sargent on the bench. Okay. All right, guys.
Hey, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I've dealt with both of those as well. Adrian Heath coached Orlando.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Okay, let's start from the top. Matt Turner. I'm going to give him an 8. I think he was very good today. Again, made the saves that he had to make. I don't think he could have done anything about that goal. It was well placed in the corner. Where do you give?
I'm giving Turner an 8 as well. He had some shaky moments again with his feet, but I'm tired of saying that. He's done his job as a shot stopper, which is what he is. I'm giving him an 8 as well. Not his fault in the goal.
Okay. Let's move on to, again, we're going to do this from starting lineups. Miles Robinson.
7. Still not too good on the ball, on passing. Long balls wasn't good, but was solid on defense as always. Did his job on defense. 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5 because the one goal that we gave up was not on him, and I thought he was solid enough. Good, not excellent. I'd say even great, but not amazing. John Brooks. Oh, boy. I'm going to give John Brooks a 4. I can't. You cannot stop running. I'm sorry, you can't.
I wanted to give him lower because I expect more from Brooks, right? Again, I'm going to give him a 4 as well because you can't. There was tactical issues on the goal, but again, there's no excuse. You track back, you sprint back,
you have to track
back, hustle back. So I'm giving him. I'm actually going to give him a 3 today.
All right,
of that.
Fair enough.
Across the game.
Fair enough. Mark McKenzie. You start with McKenzie.
I think McKenzie was. I think he was about the same as Robinson. I don't remember him doing anything bad.
Yeah. There was a moment in the first half where he was high up the field and tried to pass the ball wide to Bello and then gave it up. But he tracked back well, and I was like, oh, my God, this reminds me of what he did against Mexico. He just passed it to the Honduras player. But then he tracked back well to cover it, and then he didn't, after that, he was solid enough. So I'll give him a 7.
7. Yeah.
Let's move into midfield. We had James Sands, who I thought had a really shaky game today on several occasions. Just not good from James. Not giving up on the kid. Still think he has talent, but I'm going to give him a 4.
I'm giving him the same as Brooks, a 3, even though he didn't cause a goal. Even though I can't blame only Brooks for the goal as well, but I'm giving Sands a 3. He was just very poor today. And again, I'm not quitting on him as well. I think he does deserve more shots, but I'm giving him a 3.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about Kellen Acosta. I'm going to give Costa 5 because I don't think he was terrible. But I don't think, we didn't see in this. So remember after the Gold Cup, everyone said Acosta should start. He's probably as good as Adams. He should be a starter on this team. I think Acosta, we didn't see that same level from Acosta in this last 3 games. In fact, I thought we saw the old Acosta a bit more. Not that he didn't have good moments, but he had some good moments, some not great. He still struggles in the build-out. He still struggles in possession. He's not a creative midfielder. That's not his fault. I still think he can be a fine backup to Adams. but his stock has gone back down. And again, we said this, right? Players can be good play above their level for short periods of time, but usually they regress to the mean. And I think over the course of this tournament, Acosta regressed to the mean. I'm going to give him a 5.
I'm going to give him a 5 because the effort was great. Defensively, he did stop a few counters with chippy fouls. I don't know if you remember that. He did some chippy fouls to stop counter. But no offense to Acosta, just on the ball, it's just never good. It's just never good on the ball. So
and also, when you switched him and Adams, you could see how the gaping hole in our line was. Like, it's just the gap between him and Adams is so big. I still think he can be a backup for Adams, but I wouldn't do more than that for Acosta right now. Let's go into the Christian Pulisic.
They're going to say I'm fluffing Pulisic. I'm going to give Pulisic a 7. I think he put in the effort. In the second half, he was looking pretty good, looking dangerous, beating defenders until he got injured. I'm giving him a 7. I can't give him more than a 7. He had a nice shot, too, from that pass from Lletget. Could have scored there. I'm giving Christian a 7.
I'm going to give him a 6 because I thought he was good. I thought a lot of his issues in the first half with over-dribbling had to do with a lack of options, and so I'm not going to put that on him. In the second half, he did over-dribble sometimes, but he was better with his passing until he got injured. I'm going to give him a 6. Let's move to Josh Sargent. I'm giving Sargent a 3. I mean, I know he had that one header for Pepe, but other than that, what did Sargent do? I struggle to remember anything meaningful that he did. His hold-up play was poor. His movement was okay. I didn't have a problem with his movement, but his hold-up play was poor. His passing was poor. Just everything he does right now looks like a man who doesn't believe in himself. I'm giving Sargent a 3.
Same rating I gave Sands and Brooks. I gave Sargent 3. One of our worst performers of the night. For sure. Ricardo Pepi. This might seem over the top. I'm going to give him a 10. The kid deserves a 10. You can't start as an 18-year-old for the U.S. away in Honduras in an extremely high-pressure game. Let's not forget, this was such a high-pressure game. The guy scored 1 goal and was heavily involved in the other 3. 10 for Ricardo Pepi. Welcome to the U.S. men's national team, Ricardo. I hope it is a long and successful relationship with that crest and us and you. Yay, go Pepi. Man of the match, far and away man of the match. Not even close. Let's even ignore the fact that he's 18. Let's ignore that. We had 4 goals. He participated in not like a little bit. He participated quite a bit in all the goals.
Yeah.
All the goals.
Yeah. Because he was there putting pressure on the defender for the first goal that Robinson tapped in.
Well, he started the play too. He started
the play with hold up. Actually, it's true. Yeah. And then in the second goal, he set up Aronson, right? And then he got the shot on the goal that Lletget scored. And then wait, who was the third goal?
No, he scored the second goal.
He scored the second goal. I'm sorry, with the header. Third goal, he set up Aronson. Fourth goal, he shot, they saved, and then Lletget tapped it in. Where
Adams
are we?
and Bello, the wingbacks.
Tyler Adams. Oh, yeah, I missed Tyler Adams completely. I'm sorry. I'm going to give Adams an 8. I thought he didn't play well as a right wingback, but that's not really his position. When we moved him into midfield, he was really good once more. So I'm going to give him an 8.
I'll give him a 7.5. Also pressed, got the steal and the assist. Well, not the assist because Pepe didn't score, but technically he was the assist man of the last goal, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And Bello, want me to go first? I didn't think Bello was good. I'm going to give Bello a 4. Below average game. But he wasn't the worst. But he wasn't good today.
The worst. He didn't provide the width that we needed on that left-hand side, and that was his job to do it. And oftentimes over-dribbled as well. Going to get him down there to 4. Okay, and now the subs come on, right? So Sebastian Lletget. Let's start with Lletget. I'm going to give Lletget a solid 8 today.
I'm going to be very nice to Lletget today. I'm going to give Lletget I don't want to give him a 9. I'm going to give him an 8.5. So he came in. He hit the goal that we scored, the first one. It was a good cross from him, a very dangerous cross. It wasn't out of the cross that we crossed with the bounce. He almost had an assist to Christian Pulisic. Didn't do much wrong that I remember. And he scored a late goal. And I know the goal was easy, but he scored it. So
yeah. For sure. He's defensively, there's other issues, legit. I still think defensively he was a little bit of an issue today. Sometimes he would get beaten his 1v1s, and he gave the ball away a few times quite needlessly. That gets overshadowed by his good play, but we will absolutely celebrate his good play. Guys, my official opinion on Leggett is if he can play like that more regularly, he will earn his spot. Unfortunately, I don't see that from Leggett most of the time. So my overall opinion on him has not changed. But I hope for future better performances like that, maybe off the bench. Definitely not as a starter. Let's see. Aronson, Brendan Aronson. What were your thoughts on Aronson? Dude, you there? I think we lost tack. All right. I'm going to give Aronson a 7 because although he did score the goal and he worked very hard, I don't think he was as good as some of his other subs were. I think he was industrious, if that's a good word, but I don't think he was, excellent in that second half. In fact, I thought he struggled to find the game a lot of the times. Well, hopefully Tack should be back soon. Well, let me give you mine and then Tack will come back. So Aronson gets a 7. The third sub was, it was Aronson and Leggett. And who was the third sub, guys? Someone tell me what the third sub was. Someone says this is awkward without Tack. Not going to lie. Roldan, thank you.
I'm alive.
So you're back. No worries. I just gave Aronson a 7 because outside of the goal, I didn't think he didn't really find the game as much as he should have.
I'm okay with the 7 to him too. Good effort. Didn't do much besides the goal. I'll give him a 7.
Fair enough. Let's go to Roldan. I'm going to give Roldan a 5. He didn't really. No, hang on. There were 3 subs. Robinson. I'm sorry. We forgot Anthony Robinson. Jedi. We've got to give Jedi at least, I'm going to give him a 9. Is that too much? I'm going
to give him the same as Leggett, 8.5. Same as Leggett.
Okay. Yeah. And then we have Roldan, who also came on later. Roldan and Yedlin are the other 2 subs. Roldan, I'm giving a 5, and I think that's generous. I do. And that half an hour, I don't think he did much apart from run around and try to hustle. Like, again, on the ball, Roldan offers nothing.
Yeah, I'm actually going to give him a 4. I'm just going to say below average because he came in for Pulisic, so I was expecting him to do something. Even though I know he's not, but Gregg put him for Pulisic ahead of Conrad. I'm giving him a 4, and
yeah,
I don't think he did anything.
Yeah, no.
So
hang on. People are saying that Roldan set up a goal. What goal did he set up?
Roldan
didn't set up a goal, guys. Some people are saying that Roldan set up a goal. No, he didn't. Yedlin set up a goal. Pepe set up a goal. Actually, Pepe set up 2 goals. And then Yedlin set up the other one for Pepe. The first goal
got an assist.
Legett's cross. Pepe puts pressure. Robinson finishes. That was the first goal. Second goal. Yedlin crosses. Pepe heads up. Right? Correct?
Yeah.
So far. Third goal. Pepe runs through and crosses the ball for Aronson to finish. Fourth goal. Pepe shoots. No, Roldan didn't set up a goal. Having a turnover,
I think
guys.
He won a ball. He might have won a ball. One of the goals.
No. Guys, come on. Let's not act
That's
like
forcing
winning
it a little bit, right?
That's forcing a ball, winning a ball doesn't mean a whole lot. That happens 30, 40, 50, 60 times a game.
He might have
that's not setting up a goal.
He might have been the one that sent it to Pepe on the assist to Brendan.
Sure. So he got a second assist, but come on, that's a stretch, guys.
Pass,
overall, he didn't really find the game. And then the final one really is DeAndre Yedlin, who I thought was pretty good. I will give him, I'm struggling. I'm going to say 7.5.
I'm going to give Yedlin a 6. I thought he was okay in the game and got the assist for Pepe. It was a nice cross finally, but he held his own. I'm going to give him a 6 above average.
Fair enough. And now the really tough one, Gregg Berhalter. I don't think it's that tough, but it'll be an interesting one. I'm going to give Gregg Berhalter a 4. And I don't think you get credit for fixing your own mistake. You don't get much credit. The first half was so poor. And yeah, the subs came on, and yeah, we turned it around and we got the win. But I'm still pretty mad at Gregg. And maybe that's a lot of this other window playing on my mind, but certainly I don't think he deserves more than 4. I think 4, it should be lower, but 4 is just because we managed to get the win.
Well, if we didn't get the win, it would have been a 1
Yeah.
or 0 or
Yeah.
0. I'm going to
Yeah.
give Gregg a 3. So I gave Brooks, Sands, and I think Sargent a 3 as our worst performance. I think Gregg has to get included in there. As I said, part of the goal, there's some blame in the Gregg because of the tactics. There was a hole in the midfield that happened several times that Brooks had to track, and then Brooks messed up of not backtracking.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, he played players out of position as well. Again, not a surprise. He fixed it, but it's not that he adjusted it. So sometimes a coach can go for starting 11 and it's not going well, and then the coach adjusts it, right?
Yeah.
But he made mistakes and he fixed his mistakes.
Yeah. And it
And
was so disastrous. It wasn't just that he put out a lineup that wasn't really working, it was so obviously a complete disaster from the beginning. And guys, just to kind of wrap up this whole stream and really to wrap up this whole window. And by the way, Filippo and I and maybe one more person are going to do a what can we take away episode from this window. But let me just say this. We cannot forget. We cannot start giving benefit of the doubt to Gregg again because of this last half an hour. We don't know how much of that was the players being like, fuck it, we'll do our own thing. Overall, Gregg is a massive, massive L in this window, and every move he makes needs to be scrutinized heavily and critiqued. He finally fixed his own mistake a little bit in this last game, but 5 points, don't get me wrong, guys, it's a failure. And anybody who's going to try to tell you that this is a success or pretty good overall, it's not okay. It's not an acceptable, both from a result and performance perspective. And that is something we need to remember. Tack, your thoughts.
yeah, and remember, guys, remember everyone in the media and independent, whatever it is, that the ones that flip flop their opinion. Gregg is bad. Gregg is good. Gregg is bad. Gregg is good. I have my opinion made up on Gregg. Pete has his opinion. A lot of you have your opinion made up on Gregg, but just remember when you hear other people say it, because they keep changing their opinion based on the results the team achieve rather than the context. I still don't think Gregg has been doing a good job as a coach. He has been constantly getting bailed out by talent and a little bit of luck combined.
Yeah.
Okay. Props to the team for winning today. I'm not going to give props to Gregg for fixing the issues he created.
No.
Congratulations to the players. And my main congratulations is to Ricardo Pepi stepping up at age 18, which was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, for sure. Should we just have a quick look at the table?
Yeah. Update everyone on the table.
So this is the table, guys. Mexico is in first place with 7 points. Canada is in second place with 5 points and a 3-goal difference. The USA is in third, also with 5 points and a goal difference of 3. So I'm not sure how that works. Maybe because we had more. I don't know how that works, actually. But we're level with Canada. We're in third. Panama is fourth, also with 5 points. Costa Rica, fifth with 5 points. Honduras is in sixth with 2 points. I'm sorry, Costa Rica has 2. Honduras has 2, El Salvador has 2, and Jamaica only has 1. Now, there's the shock so far, is Jamaica only having 1. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming to hang with us. There's a ton of you there. Thanks for being here with us. We can be happy about that win in the end, but there's still a lot of questions. And there's a lot of things that we need to resolve in October. And ultimately, I still think we are doing ourselves a disservice with Gregg as coach. I think that's the best way I can do it. We are hampering this generation from reaching their full potential with Gregg as coach. That's what I believe. Tack, any last words before we sign out here?
No. Keep in mind, guys, in the field, our performances were a disaster in this camp. 5 points itself is bad, but it's not a disaster. We still are on track to qualifying. It has to be better. We need to get 7 or 9 points on the next camp, hopefully 9. If we do pull off 9, we're in good track and good shape to qualify. And it's doable, but it's going to depend on how our coach does. It's going to depend on the health of a lot of players right now that are going to be injured. I'm wishing Christian Pulisic a speedy recovery, whatever it is. Hopefully it's just a small knock. and we move on, and let's be happy we won. Essentially, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
we have to enjoy the wins where we can get them. We have to enjoy the positives, but let's not let it cloud our thinking or our judgment on the overall. You guys are awesome. I know a lot of you on the East Coast especially are late. Huge hand to tack. Oh my God, what is it, 1:45 over there?
I'm still awake. I'm wired. I'm wide awake.
All right, guys. Videos will be back to normal on Patreon tomorrow. I'm going to do a breakdown of this entire game, and boy, is it going to be quite a breakdown to do. Also, guys, subscribe to TAC if you're new here, if you haven't already. Thanks for hanging with us. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.